house. You have a nice kitchen. Really?
Really? You gonna put the food up there? Okay. All right. All right. Then
someone's proud of themselves. Someone's proud of themselves. I see. I didn't realize it was a competition.
And then he can't.
Like, I thought it was just
no. Wait, hold on.
I thought it was something something cute. Give us an idea of what you're making and what give some people some tips. Like, but
Listen,
next time,
to y'all, it's not a competition. This is how we eat. This is how we get down. Hey.
What's up, man? Hey, what's up, Rashaun? We can't see you right now. I got another screen up. Give us a second.
Okay.
There we go. Oh, perfect.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
Good. How are you?
All right. Don't mind my little COVID beard. I'm embracing the 40 life now.
Listen, you make me feel good that I'm not the only person that went from being like all black to all gray.
I can't do about it now. I'm bald and gray, living a life.
Oh no.
Listen, I think bald is slowly approaching for me. I think I'm gonna end up cutting it all off.
Hey,
Come on over. The weather's fine over here.
Man. So what's everybody doing? I see you over eating, Ty.
We were wondering what your meal was going to be.
Well, I just got done eating. Had some shrimp and grits. I mean, it's the easiest thing to make.
I know, but the point was, did you send in a picture of it?
I got one. I got to send it on now. I'll do that in a second.
There you go. You can make it your background.
See, so apparently, Ty decided to make it a challenge, like a competition. I didn't know it was a contest. I was just saying, like, we're gonna be eating, so we want you to eat too. And I just wanted to see what you were eating. I didn't but apparently it was a contest, and we were not aware of the contest.
Okay.
And we lost.
Wow. It's really hard to compete against chicken and waffles. And I believe
and some special eggs. It's like there was stuff in the eggs.
I think were there blueberry eggs or something like that? It was
French. I don't know.
It was very special.
Y'all didn't see the garnish on the side of the plate, the apples, the sliced apples, the two different colors.
Look crazy next to my little sad grapes that I gave my husband. Like whatever. That's fine. That's fine.
Man.
All right. So speaking of dishes, how do you want to start this? So we're gonna start off letting everyone introduce themselves.
Yeah, let's do it quickly because we know you, and of course, like there are people who are gonna be watching who know you, but like let's get like a little, the skinny on you guys. DJ Rashaun, you wanna go first, sir? Since you lost the meal off, the cook off. That you did not know that you're participating in.
I mean, just I'm DJ. My name's Rashaun. My DJ name is Rashaun. So I've been doing this for a long time, since high school, and I went professional with DJing like 2011. Actually, I met Ty, I think like 2012, and learned a lot from him, and a couple other people as far as my journey and stuff, and implemented what I learned from everybody else, and it's been great. Actually had a chance to go to you guys' wedding, which was an honor. To see Ty in action, by the way, is always a learning experience. So, I mean, I'm just enjoying life. I mean, I'm enjoying the DJ life. I love what I do, and it's been great.
Thank you. Mr. Ty.
What do I say about myself? I've been DJing a very long time. I think I'm creeping up on 30 years now. First and foremost in entertainment, my interest was always other entertainers, other DJs, other personalities, other performers. And Rain, I met you in 2007.
I believe it's been quite a long journey. It's been quite a long journey.
Yeah, so around 2007, you and I met, and you've always been good. You've always been a good guy. You've always been straight up. And I was fortunate enough to meet your lovely wife, and we've worked together on several projects as well as your wedding reception. And you guys are always good people. And my wife right here, Chrissy, I always big you guys up. When I talk about good people, you guys' names are always in the conversation. I believe if you surround yourself with good people, it'll show. If you look to the left, you look to the right, if you see good people, you're a good person yourself. And I think if you look to the left or look to the right, you see bad people, 9 times out of 10, you're a bad person yourself. And
Oh.
Nicely put.
So
your parents always say you are who your friends are. Like
yes. Show me your friends and I'll show you you. That's what my grandparents told me. So, you know, as far as DJing and entertainment go, that's what I do. That's what I've done for a living, up until the pandemic. And obviously all of us have, as DJs and entertainers, have changed things. And I know this is one of the topics that we're going to discuss, but, you know, in a nutshell, DJing 30 years, mentoring DJs, working with DJs, always learning, always willing to teach.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. Thanks for the glowing words. I feel like I didn't know I needed ego boost, especially after I made that sad little. Like,
I was about to say, you know, I don't know if you know that was like, you know, just him saying how much he liked this, or him trying to apologize for outdoing everyone with the, you know.
But no, let's talk about what we eating today, because can we see your background again? Your background, your yes. Show us what you have.
My food.
Yes, your meal.
All right, hold on.
Yeah, what is this? So those are those blueberry waffles?
Those are blueberry waffles.
Let me just move out of the picture, please. Just move to the side real quick so they.
He's like, "Ooh, wife."
My man got the whole background going there.
He does.
It looks very. Nice. It looks very nice. Does it taste good?
Oh, absolutely.
All right, so
listen, I'm a pro when it comes to breakfast foods. Let me just tell you that. I might not be that nice with other stuff, but breakfast stuff, I got it down.
So tell us about this dish. So what inspired this lovely dish?
Well, I'll tell you this. The first time I've ever had chicken and waffles was at Warm Daddy's in Philly. And, you know, I've been across the country and, you know, different parts of the South, and I understand this chicken and waffles thing is a thing in the South. And I've always heard about it, but it's never really struck me like, oh, why would a person eat a chicken and a waffle in the same location? It just doesn't make sense to me, right? But long story short, I ordered this chicken and waffle at Warm Daddy's, and I was blown away. And ever since then, every place I go that has chicken and waffles, I mean, I have to get it right. And, you know, there's some places that try to do it. You know, you got the IHOPs, you got the, you know, the brick and mortar stores, that, you know, the big corporation places that do it. They just don't do it right. There's nothing better than, in my opinion, Warm Daddy's, Miss Tootsie's, you know,
good old soul food, sir. Good old soul food.
Soul food places, you know, they nail it. You know, when you get a guy in a corporate boardroom says, "Oh, yeah, I think this will be a good idea if we mass produce it," that's a negative. You want to know the recipe? You want to know how we put this together, or how I make it?
If you have time to type it up, and we can like.
No, I'm not doing all that. I'm not.
I want to. You know, it's funny. Like, fried chicken is one of the things that I struggle, because it always comes out like I always have a hard time. Like, I try different ways, it never works out right.
Let me explain something to you. This would be a good idea if we mass produce. My wife right here is a fried chicken beast. When I tell you, outside of Miss Tootsie's or a place that may have a professional chef that put this fried chicken together and serving it, you know, for the public, I can guarantee you I've never tasted a better homemade fried chicken.
Yes.
Listen, some people on Facebook might have seen me and they may have tried to slide me a piece of chicken. It has not been as good as my wife's chicken.
Oh, that's nice. Can I get that recipe though?
I'll inbox it.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Rashaun, sir.
Yeah.
What did you eat today?
Shrimp and
you
grits.
ate it before we could even see it. Like you said.
Well, I did take a picture and I posted on my Instagram actually of it all going down.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So yeah, so it's in my little Instagram snap. You know what I mean? I was whipping the grips up, getting everything ready, and shrimp flipping everything. It was good. I ain't getting burnt or nothing. Did an all right job.
Oh, so shrimp and grits, huh?
Look, everybody.
Yeah. That's
soul food. I know.
Can't go wrong with that.
Pistos. Like I'm like, yeah. I didn't get the memo.
We absolutely. We were left out.
One thing I'm not good at is frying chicken, and I'm probably terrible at making any kind of batter to make pancakes and waffles.
Well, that works out. Everyone's got to do what works for them.
Yeah.
For me, it's always like the grease. Like my grandmother, like they had no problem popping grease. Like whatever, it gets on their arm, whatever. Like I am so afraid of getting popped by some grease. Like
it's a difference getting popped by grease and getting popped by grits. It's a whole different burn right there.
Huge difference.
Al Green. That's Al Green. He'll let you know.
I wasn't going to say any names, but we know.
Yeah, no joke.
So February it is Black History Month.
Yeah.
And like as things have like gone on, like each generation has their own like social justice thing that they got going on or whatever. Our generation is dealing with definitely the Black Lives Matter movement. But in light of like all this going on, like have you guys thought about like how you celebrate Black History Month? Do you celebrate Black History Month? Do we like what do we do different? Do we do anything different?
I think as a whole, I think we should do more in Black history. It shouldn't be just a month. I mean, I think it's so many things that Black folks in general have added to history. I mean, we created a lot of things in history that's not even told about. So for us to celebrate something once a year is a little far-fetched, but I think we can do better as a people and kind of abolish that whole just 1 month.
Yeah, it definitely should be every day.
One of the shortest month at that.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because I always try to look for books and things that sort of gear for my son to sort of like remind him, of see himself, right? And we went through we hard time finding like dolls and toys that have Black faces, and we also found books. And then there's one book that we found called Little Legends, and I wish I had it, but he's sleeping right now, and I'm not gonna go in his room and wake him up because we want to. But it's called Little Legends, and it like the woman who wrote it, and she's an illustrator, she did it as her promise for Black History Month. Like she wanted to have something to contribute to Black History Month, so she made this book. And she used her skill to do this. And I'm like, I would wonder what sort of things can we do, just regular people, that make like, okay, our commitment to adding to history in Black history. Like what can we create? What can we do to add to our legacy?
I think that the truth is we may need a bigger platform in the media that's solely controlled by us, with our own best interest at heart. I think the person that controls the media controls a perception of whomever they're trying to control the perception of. And right now, like we're in a Zoom meeting and we're talking to people that have a high degree of intelligence and make certain life choices and decisions and what have you. And we may not be the ones that are represented in the media because we're not entertaining enough as what's been fed to people that don't make these kind of decisions or choices or whatever. I just think when I look around, we don't have anything to contribute. We don't own any media outlets. We don't own anything. We don't own newspapers, and if we do, they're low budget. They're small. We only own as much as we're allowed to own. So we can only distribute as much knowledge as we're allowed to distribute, and that's probably one of the reasons why we only have a short history month as a pacifier, so we won't look for more.
That's definitely I especially when you think about like the BETs and like they're all owned by larger conglomerates that are they're owned by white people. And I wonder if maybe it's like, and then you think of like those people who are billionaires, the Tyler Perrys, the Oprahs, like, are they really doing enough to push the needle? And then maybe we don't need to have some huge giant platform. Maybe we do just focus on ourselves and the small communities that we can and try and support, you know, as much as we can, because there's power in our dollars. So maybe we just stop communicating through those means and start communicating through our own, you know. But I was thinking more like, what can we do small, even, you know?
I think
do small that's not, doesn't have to be on the big scale of owning a major studio, or even writing a book, you know, can seem a little daunting for some people, you know.
I think that you have to walk it like you talk it. That's the beginning. The things that we teach our children, the lessons that we've learned, if we pass them down to our children, you know, they're going to be the future. They're going to be the ones that carry the torch. Whatever baton you're giving to your son, Rain, is the one he's going to give to his son. True. So if you give him a baton that's ratchet, he's going to give a ratchet baton to his son, and it's going to follow. Kids emulate what they see. They absorb what they see. If they see you acting a fool, they're going to act a fool. If they see you promoting retardedness, they're going to promote retardedness. And none of us is perfect. But I believe if you're asking, what can we do as a people? The first thing, my first thing is to make sure that our image is in alignment with something that we would consider great. Because if they don't see anything great, they don't imitate anything great.
Yeah. It's insane that like just living a relatively normal life, being happy, being healthy, taking care of your family, doing those things can still be considered a revolutionary act. You know,
absolutely.
So absolutely. The fact that, you know, we got cops killing us in the street, you know, like just making it to 40, 50 years old is revolutionary.
Right. Exactly.
Itself, you know.
We have to be thinkers all the time. It's a shame. It's a shame. You know, we all have a brain capacity, but it seems like us African Americans, we have to be thinking all the time. And I think the minute we stop thinking about stuff, or the minute we're not worried about, you know, what the possibilities of our actions can be, or the minute that the media has a frenzy. Mm-hmm. And now they have these images that they need to propagate to our people to show us our worth.
Yeah. What on that note? So you guys familiar with Morgan Wallen, the country singer?
I am now.
I was like, I don't know who he was. Like, so this man goes on, I guess, a rampage. I don't know who he was arguing with in his front yard, but decided to call him the N-word. But I don't think the person he was yelling at was Black. So there's been this discussion about the use of the N-word. Again, it always comes up again. And white people's wanting to use it, and the use of Black people using it, and rappers using it. What do you guys think about? Especially like you guys deal in this music.
we hear it all the time.
I hear it all the time. So what are our thoughts about it?
I think that you know, to be completely honest and transparent, I think that that's a word that's so diluted in our vocabulary that we use it freely without even thinking twice about it, where it comes from, the origin, the essence, what damage it had. You know, it has a lot more damage now because there's so much more social media. There's so many people, you know, that are so, quote unquote not allowed to say certain words. And, you know, if I say that to Rain or Rashaun, they don't feel anything. But if Joe Cash Register says that to Rain or Rashaun, there could be a problem. Mm-hmm. So, you know, it's a double-edged sword with that word. You know, who's allowed to use it, who's not allowed to use it. You know, 9 times out of 10, if it's a person that's the opposite color of us and they use it, you know, they're considered a racist. I can probably agree with that because I have few and far between seeing people of color walking around spewing that word. Mm-hmm. Spewing a derogatory word that applies to another race in any media.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't see it. You don't see, you know, African Americans rallying against other races. You don't see it. No matter how much money we have. I mean, you take it back. Like, look at Michael Jackson was the king of pop. He had mega millions. He was on top of the world. He can do whatever he want. But he said a racial slur in his song, and they took it right out of the song.
Mm-hmm.
He's not allowed to even play it. But we're allowed to say racial slurs against each other. Other people allowed, and it gets played on the radio all day. I mean, I just think that it's definitely a double standard when it comes to the word, and no matter what, if it's said in love towards each other, or if it's said in hate, no matter what, at the end of the day, I think that the word should not be used if it's not used in a way that is friendly.
Mm-hmm. I wonder too. It's like, for me, it's always been this. You know, it's a point of contention within our community. So until we, as a community, decide what to do with it, I think every other race should just back off of it. You know,
I mean,
like,
that's the safe thing to do. When in doubt, just leave it out.
Don't say it just because it's said between, you know, ourselves, and we're still working out. Because there's, you know, I grew up in the camp that it wasn't allowed. Period. When my mom raised me, like, we don't use that word. Period. Even with each other. And then when I started listening to hip hop, and I had, like, you know, I started having, like, I was able to listen to songs with explicit lyrics. She said, you can't play it out loud. You have to wear your headphones. Your brother, sister can't hear it, and I don't want to hear you repeating it.
Yeah.
You know, so it was that was the line. You know, that was my family. That how we grew up. It's just like, that word is not a word. Even if you use it friendly, it's not friendly. Right. You know, it's sort of like, but it's that, you know, we've been internalized. You know, we've been taught to, like, self-hate ourselves. You know, it's like we're coming out, and it's been, you know, you're talking about hundreds of years of oppression, and it's ingrained in us, and we pass it down to our children. So this word has become synonymous with us. So we think it's okay to say.
Right.
So it's like, how you can't turn off trauma, you know, generations of it, you know, so it's something that's going to constantly be coming up until we reconcile what it is. But like, to me, it's like, any person who says that they're a friend to Black people, you trying to find an excuse to use a word that is so contentious, you can't come off any other way but racist. You know, because that's just, like, you can say, oh, well, the rappers use it all the time, but you know that it has a history. Why do you still want to use it? You can use a million other words.
You
still want to use this one because it's something you can't say. God forbid that you can't do something in this country when we've been told we can't do something forever. You know?
Well, just to add to that, I definitely think we need to do away with the whole apology thing when it comes to every situation, political, all types of stuff, and people need to be held accountability wise.
Yeah.
Every time something happens, somebody's sorry and all this, and they're never hold accountable wise. Nothing ever happens. It's just thrown to the side and another day.
And what's crazy with him, like, in particular, like, of course, like, his sponsors, his record label, everyone started pulling back, but his digital streams went up,
which is scary.
Absolutely.
So
which is absolutely scary.
Because that means, like, oh, well, you know, we're gonna stand by this guy that said a word, and, you know, he instantly said sorry, but was he really sorry? He was sorry he got caught.
That's the protocol. That's the protocol. Your spin doctors will have you on the phone the minute they see this thing go viral, and now they're trying to figure out, and, you know, half of his camp is like, well, this is going to be great for sales. Then the other half of his camp is like, oh, wow, you're going to lose a lot of sponsors. But the truth is, we are not powerful enough as a people to shut anybody down. If he's going to get shut down, sad to say, his own people are going to have to shut him down. Mm-hmm. Like when Don Imus got shut down, when Howard Cosell got shut down for saying, look at that monkey run, you know, talking about Ahmad Rashad. You know, we don't have anything of power to stop any movement against us.
Well, especially in that arena, in country music, like, exactly. even though it has roots in Black history, it's run by a white media, white people, so it's kind of one of those things we don't have really control over. But what we do have control over is our organization. NAACP offered to educate him.
Wait, really?
Yes. He's a grown man. He is a grown man. He knows what the word means. Why is it our responsibility to educate our oppressors, the people who are racist against us, on why they're racist when they know that they're racist?
They already know.
They know that they use the term that they're not. Like every little kids know that's a bad word. You know it's a bad word. Why do we have to educate you? Why is it our responsibility to educate you?
What kind of education can they give? I mean, when they're gonna say, "Hey, look at some pictures. We good people." That's what we gonna say. I mean,
like, dude, there isn't an American who doesn't know what happened in slavery. And if you don't know, then you need to pick up a book. Why is it my responsibility to teach you, an adult, about what has happened to us in this country? Like, it sounds ridiculous to me.
What's funny about that is, though there are other racial slurs, if we use a racial slur against someone else, it doesn't even sting them. That doesn't affect them at all. They think it's like funny to them because they don't have any kind of bad history attached to whatever is presented to them, except for maybe the Jews. And if you say something against the Jews, you're getting shut down. Period.
Absolutely.
You can't. As soon as it comes out your mouth, you might as well go ahead and start packing your desk.
And then maybe it's also because the manners in which their communities have rallied around these sorts of issues, where us is still a contingent. Like, even like I bring up the Kaepernick situation, and then so now we're supposed to be over the fact that Kaepernick literally got blackballed by the NFL because Jay-Z is now shaking hands with the commissioner. And it's like, and he's like, oh, we need to get over this one person having a job, but that one person having a job is literally the meaning of what we're fighting against.
And again, in that situation, like Ty said earlier, they give you a passer, they stuff a pacifier in your mouth and say, okay, now go sit down and be happy. They did the same thing with the Kaepernick situation when they gave him a tryout.
Yeah.
It was all show. It was show.
What was that for?
Yeah. Now we go to football, and tonight it's supposed to be the Super Bowl. Anybody watching the Super Bowl?
I think I'm interested in the Super Bowl, but because of recent revelations, I don't know if this is part of the topic.
No, bring it in.
It kind of touches on the last topic, but the NFL is getting sued by 2 players, and I don't know their names. You've heard this story
about the concussion protocol, right?
I heard about that too. Yeah.
And the NFL is telling the doctors to use a formula that, for lack of a better term, states that Black athletes are not able to comprehend as good as white athletes. So that our brain capacity is not up to par with white athletes. So therefore, if something happens to us, because we're, in layman's terms, because we're already dumb anyway, we shouldn't be qualified for insurance. We shouldn't qualify for coverage. We shouldn't qualify for things for medical advantages that our white counterparts have.
Yeah, and you imagine the fact that the NFL is 70% Black. All right, and the fact is, for a fact that our people are suffering at a higher rate of concussions, because especially the positions in which those Black players are playing. So they have a higher rate of having concussions. They have a higher rate of having these issues. And then they use what it was called racial norming. So the fact of the matter is, so the idea is that essentially that they use a different level, like they put Black people at a lower grading. The idea was to deal with systemic issues that affect Black people. So it ends up, when they get recorded for cognitive issues, they automatically get given lower scores. So it's supposed to be, that idea was supposed to be used to counter the events of systemic racism. But when you use it in this sort of capacity, it literally means that if your cognition is already starting at a lower rate than regular white people, and then they test you and you're low, well, that's considered normal for Black people. So then they force the clinicians to use this threshold, which means for a white person who would have scored the same way, they would have qualified for benefits. A Black person would have been disqualified for benefits. And then the NFL is refusing to release the demographic information. So that means saying how many Black people versus how many white people, ages of who's qualifying and who's being disqualified. Wow. So if you're doing everything right, then you would release the demo info. Exactly. If you're trying to hide something, then you wouldn't release the demo info. But the NFL is a racist organization, and that's just what it is. But no one wants to call it that because they see Black bodies, making money off of it. Right, because we're entertaining, and we're seen as role models, and we're seen as it's like he's very good on the screen. I love, what he does. My kid has his jersey, I got an autograph. We got pictures with him and all, but we're not interested in him coming to dinner. Mm-hmm. No. Mm-mm. Yeah. Or just play. I don't want to hear your thoughts on how you're treated in this. Just run, jump, and score. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all we can do in the NFL. Just play.
Yeah, and it's a shame because that for a lot of Black people playing in the NFL, playing in an NBA, playing in these professional athletes is one of the few ways that they can create generational wealth, that they can move out of. Yeah. It's like those are one of the few ways, especially knowing that the education system in our neighborhoods are broken down and all of that, and the systemic racism has affected almost every part of our life. The one few ways that people can get up and out is through professional athletes, being a professional athlete, and then knowing that it is even continued even further. So I hope they win. I hope they embarrass them. I hope they get all the information and then release it. They need, because all of this performative, we stand together and Black Lives Matter, kneeling and all that stuff, it's all performance. At the end of the day, it's performance. It doesn't mean anything if you are literally doing everything you can to keep Black people subjugated in your profession. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Even with that, remember the NBA had a select group of phrases or whatever, phrases or whatever, or names, things that or slogans that they could wear on the back of their jerseys. They had a select group of approved
social justice messages.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes. Ooh. And it's like, how do you approve social justice? You can't pre-approve social justice.
Can't create your own, but listen, let us know what you thinking, and we'll let you know if it's okay or not.
Yeah.
I didn't even know. I wasn't even aware. I don't even watch basketball. I just, I know LeBron.
I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence sometimes.
I watched it so long ago. I don't even know half these people anymore. There's so I don't know anyone. I know. I mean, I know the majors. LeBron and D-Wade and all. I know those guys. But anyone younger than 28, I don't know who they are.
Last time I was at a Sixers game, Jason Terry was still playing for Dallas.
Well, you're talking a foreign language to me.
Yeah.
I'm not a loop.
We're talking maybe almost 10 years ago.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow. It's been longer than that for me.
It's been a very long time since I've been to
I've been to a Sixers game more recently than that. Yeah, we have, right? Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, if you've been doing the MB, era or whatever, then yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
See, my favorite part of the Super Bowl though is just the commercials, but now they show all the commercials.
Yeah, we got them already.
Yeah, I've seen them already. So
yeah. How about that? And some organizations are pulling back commercials, which I hear that some organizations are using what they would have spent on the commercial time to feed communities and put it back in the civil rights things, and and I definitely applaud that. But again, whatever is done has to be continually done. It just can't be done for publicity or for promotion.
Yeah, it has to be constant work. But you got real heavy. You did. like before we start talking about the DJ stuff, I want to see one last thing. You guys see the Salt-n-Pepa movie?
Oh,
absolutely.
I need to catch up on that.
You didn't catch up on it?
I didn't see that, and I didn't see the Wendy Williams biopic. I gotta watch.
I didn't watch Wendy Williams yet.
So don't waste your time with Wendy Williams, but you definitely have to watch the Salt-n-Pepa one.
Yeah, okay. So we're not gonna put any spoilers out since only half of us have.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, we won't do that.
Okay.
But I had to tell you though, I was quite like I am among a lot of other people. I was not happy with how they treated Cinderella. Like I'm not. And
yeah, like it had nothing to do. It seemed like other people that weren't even part of Salt-n-Pepa were more were highlighted more than the actual three in the group. And I understand. I know there was two Spinderellas, but the most recent Spinderella was the one that is attached to their image, their legacy. The first Spinderella, I don't remember her name, but she kind of got fired early.
Yeah.
Or whatever happened. So, I mean, art imitates life.
It's just sad to me. It's sad overall. Like the fact that is everyone like yes, it's Salt-n-Pepa, but for the culture, everyone knows Salt-n-Pepa and Spinderella.
Yes.
Yes. Everybody knows that. And you can't say, oh, we're about female empowerment and we want to tell the story, and then you literally leave out your sister. You know that. And as far as like y'all beefing, you need to get over it just for if you're going to tell a story. Otherwise, this is fake. Yeah. As far as I'm concerned,
it's incomplete. It's incomplete.
It's not. Meanwhile, we get like a bootleg, Martin actor and a bootleg Kid and Play. Meanwhile, you can't even give the girls tell her true story instead of making it seem like she was just insignificant. Well, we know
you watched her right out of history.
Yeah, it's like she don't exist. Like, come on now. And like, it's just so sad. It's just sad when you see that sort of thing happen to something that is so like their group was so important to hip hop, to female empowerment, to like, and to have it just sort of disintegrate into this, and it's like. You mess with your own legacy trying to tell this story.
It's crazy because I think it all is really crazy because after we talked about it, I thought about it, and it becomes a part of an ongoing discussion, an ongoing topic for decades when it comes to DJs, and Ty and Rashaun can agree with me on this, where at the end of the day, people really don't really understand, the significance of a DJ or care about DJs, and a lot of people's eyes just like, oh, okay, you may have danced on the stage with us. Okay, you may have, helped with a couple lyrics, but you're just a DJ. You're just a DJ.
But it's crazy to say it wasn't like that before.
Right.
Before it was the DJ and the MC was the side piece, and then it flipped. And then but then it became a point where you couldn't be an MC without a DJ.
True.
And then all of a sudden now
you weren't valid in hip hop.
You weren't valid unless you had a DJ. And then all of a sudden now it's like the DJ is just like, we can just throw some dude back there. And not even hook up the turntables.
It's like I think people, and I wish I could run down in the basement and grab the CD right now, but like you said, like you couldn't be an MC without a DJ, and that is an absolute like true fact, because I could hold up a CD right now and show today's society who think that, Will Smith was the guy and, Jazzy Jeff was just, the DJ that got famous off Will Smith, when actually the name of the group was DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince.
Yes.
You keep talking. Prince. I'll be back.
Yeah, everybody knows the history of that. Well, not everybody, but most people that pay attention to hip hop know that Will Smith was brought in by Jazzy Jeff, and he had a job to do. His job was the MC,
exactly,
making records, and Jazzy Jeff was the person that would lay the foundation for Will Smith to get where he is now. And Will Smith will tell you that. Anybody will tell you that. It's like no secret.
Yeah, exactly. I just wish it was ways. I wish it was ways we could teach. Today's generation, especially when it comes to music, because like like dealing with, you know, a few people as today's generation when it comes to music, a lot of them don't really know the actual, you know, music history, and it's sad. You know, a lot of you try to break down, you know, certain things in the music history, and they don't really understand. Oh, we got a special guest. Okay.
He decided to wake up early from his nap. So he's going to get to education, right?
Oh.
Education.
All he want to know is what's up with that bottle.
Yeah.
I'm getting hot myself.
Really?
So yeah. So won't y'all talk about
Oh, here we go. Okay. All right. I'm sorry, I had to pull it up. So we decided to come back, but
let's get back to the main. Let's get to the main points of our discussion today.
Yeah. So let's jump to the main point of the discussion. And why Ty is doing a wardrobe change. Rashaun, we can start with you. So the main topic of discussions today is, you know, the current pandemic that we're going through. I think we're on what, month 11 right now, maybe, like if we haven't reached a full year yet.
Yes.
March will make a year.
March will make a year. Okay. Yeah, you know, something that in the beginning we all thought, you know, was going to be maybe, you know, a 4 to 5 month, you know, situation or whatever. And we were going to maybe, you know, pull through, beat this thing, and things would go back to normal. But, you know, jokes on us, we've been fooled. So before we get into the mobile world, let's talk to Rashaun and tell us how, because I know, you know, when a pandemic hit, you know, I was following you, you know, on social media and everything, and I saw that, you know, you were in Atlantic City, you were down in Maryland, you were, I think one time I saw you in upstate New York, and then you bounced down to Virginia. You know, you were all over the place in the nightlife. And then the pandemic hit. So talk to us a little bit about that and how, like, it all came to like a halt.
Well, I'll say what was it, like February? That second week in February, I did my last casino gig. I was at Valley Forge Casino, and it was I got a call, you know, from the agent that books us there and stuff, and they was talking about this pandemic thing. So they were just saying, you know, everything is shutting down tonight. So, you know, I'm thinking like everybody else, oh, okay, we're going to be down for a couple of weeks and everybody going to be back to action. That turned to everything being shut down. Like, no work, my whole schedule got cleared, and I was booked like months ahead for like cruises, weddings, all type of stuff. And everything was off the books. So if I don't work, I don't get paid. So that devastated me. Like, I had to go through my savings and stuff. Luckily I saved, and, you know, did some research online with the unemployment, the SBA loans and all that stuff. And I thank God I have my business correct to be able to learn how to do that stuff. And I pay my taxes. I think we all pay our taxes. But it was a rough time. And I look at it as a gift and a curse. I mean, for this whole year, it kind of gave me a chance to just reorganize and kind of try to reiterate myself and what I want to do and how, like, I want to move forward and kind of innovate and stuff. So I just learned different techniques, watching other DJs and stuff, and learning more, digging deeper into music and stuff like that. And this online thing has been crazy too. Like, I've been doing Zoom parties with other companies and stuff. So I learned how to do that. And it really hasn't been that bad. I mean, it could have been worse, but, you know, some of us just learn how to catch the curves.
Yeah. Well, and you definitely brought a good point, because if you didn't have a business set up, getting any sort of funds was very difficult. You know,
it would have been a wrap.
You know, like it really taught, like, you getting the money under the table, getting cash, not creating an LLC. All of that did not work in your favor when the pandemic hit. You know, so you definitely need to, like, I hope a lot of DJs learn that lesson, that they need to get their paperwork in order. And yes, you need to pay those taxes, because when bad things happen, you're going to count on the government to sort of help you know, and have that paper trail to prove that you've been doing it.
I'll definitely add to that. Me and Ty had a conversation a while back. We was talking about taxes, and we was just saying how just, you know, being self-employed in general, banks want to see how much money you're bringing in. And a lot of guys like to avoid, you know, being legit with it, you know, paying the taxes and showing what they made. And I learned that from dealing with my credit union. Like I can call them and get a loan and stuff. And they say, hey, we know how much you make for the year. So I report everything I make for the year. So I'm like, at least that way I got a paper trail showing I made this amount of money every year. I could pay it back and I'm not having no issues. As far as, because I can't be one of those guys that's taking money under the table and then showing I only made 5-10 grand a year on the books. We ain't never gonna get no business loans for that.
Yeah,
exactly.
You know?
Or if you do get a loan, it'll be at such a ridiculously high interest. They're just kind of playing chess with you, because they'll give you a loan for something that you can buy, knowing that you can't afford it. And then when you can't afford it, they foreclose on it, and then they sell it back at a profit. So they're essentially a placekeeper when they can see that you can't afford what you're trying to buy.
Yeah.
Rashaun, you said that you did cruises before, right?
Yeah.
Like, aren't you kind of happy you weren't on some boat?
Yeah, well, you know what? The funny thing was,
a bright side of things.
I had just got off a cruise 2 weeks before the pandemic happened.
Whew.
Yeah, so it was yeah, it kind of worked out.
Yeah,
because I know guys that was stuck on a boat that they couldn't get off. Like they was on their last week. Once the pandemic hit, they was on their last week before they had to come home. The ship wouldn't let nobody off. It was just crazy.
Hold on a second. Well, can you imagine being stuck on there for months? Some people are still stuck on there. Come like June,
It's
July.
a lot of workers on there still that can't go home.
Yeah. So we lost Ty. Are you back?
I'm here.
So Ty, so you actually have your business where you actually employ other DJs too, right? So how did that affect your?
Well, everybody's a subcontractor.
Yeah.
So what it is I don't, for lack of a better way, I don't employ other DJs. I just, you know, if I get double booked, triple booked, or for whatever for a gig, I may take a small percentage of whatever the event pays, and the DJs get paid the rest. So it is a business that's based on subcontracting. So I didn't feel the hit that most big companies that are employing DJs felt, because the bigger companies are giving the DJ the small percentage. They're taking majority, giving the DJ a fraction. So for them, they were quicker to go out of business. So let's just say, if I were to put a number on it, you know, they get booked for a gig that pays $500. They'll send a DJ out and give him $100. They'll take $400 and call it, you know, in the reason of marketing, promotion, sales team. You know, we have overhead, we have expenses, and this is what we have left for you. Take it or leave it. And the DJ takes it, and that's okay. But you know, when they're doing this so much, and they become a conglomerate in the realm of entertainment, when something like a pandemic happens, now they have events that may have been booked years in advance, and now they have to return that majority versus having to return a fraction.
Yeah.
So they're going to get hit a lot harder than I personally got hit. I had to give people, you know, their money back, which is, you know, none of us is wealthy at this point, but having to return money that you thought would be available for you moving forward definitely stings. So but just being right with people, you know, being right with your business, doing your taxes, just reporting everything worked in my favor in this whole thing. And of course, you know, we had to learn how to move differently. You know, now you can't go out and eat every night. You can't go out and buy everything you see. When something new comes out, you just can't jump up and buy it, because, you know, if you're smart, whatever you buy, it pays for itself. So money management, if you weren't good at managing money before a pandemic, you're probably dead broke right now.
Yeah. Definitely. You see the industry coming back exactly the way it left? Like, and you guys see it coming back? Like, how soon do you think or hope that you can see it coming back to some sort of normalcy?
I think that with streaming and with digital options that are available now, I think that's probably going to take away 50% of the business as people have become comfortable with living in their own space and being entertained. We're already alienated from each other with the uses of cell phones, iPads, computers, or whatever. We don't really congregate like we used to because we don't need to be physically next to each other. And what this pandemic has showed people is that, hey, I can have a good time talking to people without even really necessarily having to leave my house. I can be comfortable. And, as this virus mutates, that adds to further disarray in the industry, because one week you can have 50 people in your place. Oh, the strain mutated, let's take it back down to 25 until we completely understand that. And people start to lose trust and faith in the system and society. And what's more trustworthy, or what can be more faithful than being in the comfort of your own home? Like we would have had to have a couple years ago. Like I was talking to Chrissy earlier, when you first started this show 10 years ago, remember you had to all get together to do it. We don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah.
So I think that I'm hoping that this comes back quickly. I see it trickling back, but in my mind, I can't rightfully see us getting back to full steam like we were before this pandemic hit.
Yeah. So you think like this is going to be like a permanent change, that there's always going to be that virtual option?
I think this is a transition. I think yeah. I just think it's a transition that people have accepted, and it's funny when you realize something, and you just you go back and think, well, wow, it's definitely going to crush the industry, because the industry is driven off of, well, the nightlife industry anyway is driven off of occupancy, is driven off of drink sales, is driven off of ticket prices. People are saving a lot of money staying home and getting entertained.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I still feel like there's always gonna be those people who want to be out.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like you see parties in like Houston and all those major hotspots, like they packing them in.
They're hotspots though.
Yeah, and Tampa gonna be the next one.
Yeah.
Maybe it just changes the dynamic a little bit, and but where the cream rises to the top, where they can have virtual events, and then other people are just going to be hustling, trying to get out there, and they don't care if they get COVID or whatever comes next. Hello.
I mean, it may be there is less leniency for occupancy in places where the government has deemed the people that are occupy these establishments important.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, so, did you have an opinion on the topic, sir? No.
Not today. Just show me the bottle.
He wants everything up here. He wants to play with the laptop. He likes playing with computers, so he's not even thinking about this. So what sort of things have you guys tried to do differently as a result to generate income, keep your audience, keep clients happy? Like, what sort of new things have you guys pivoted towards?
You want to go with that, Rashaun?
I'll start off with that. I think with me, what I did was I kind of just wanted to still continue to work on my image and stuff, and kind of work on my branding as far as trying to get in with different audio brands. That was always like a little brainchild of mine, and it kind of worked out in a way with like all the live streaming and stuff. I kind of figured out how to captivate being in a corporate situation and also branding the actual audio equipment I use. So I feel like if I'm spending money on a product, I want to get something in return. Like if it's a write-up on one of their sites or something like that. So it's been pretty cool that I had a few brands reach out like through DMs. They wanted to use my photos and stuff, so they asked for permission. I was just kind of surprised from that. So they took the correct routes for doing that. So it's been pretty good with on that type of vibe. And then also I just took the time just to kind of just clean up the business, kind of learn a little bit more as far as structural with pricing, contracts and stuff, and kind of learn how to automate everything so I'm not wearing so many hats. So it's been working out pretty good. I kind of figured out a system now where I can book a client and everything is already automated. They'll get an email, they'll send back their information and stuff like that, and everything's like in a portal for me and the client to see. And it's been pretty easy.
Oh, we love automation.
Yeah.
We use
learning it, but I'm late, but I'm learning it.
Yeah, we use a site called 17 Hats, and that's how we manage like all of our client like contracts, and automatically sends emails. I set up like chains, so depending on the type of events. So then like oh, if it's their wedding, 6 months out they get an email reminder. 4 more months out, so it's like a constant because it's a lot of work running your own business.
It's
a lot of work doing it right anyway. Doing it right. Ty, what about yourself?
I have honestly gone the opposite route of other people, where people may have taken time to polish their images, to learn to grasp new technology, to get involved in the virtual world as things are changing. I have taken the time to just be who I am and be natural and be normal to what's normal to me. Anything that I stream, anything that I play, anything that I do, I'm doing what I like to do. For 30 years, I've been your entertainer. You understand what I mean? And when I'm not your entertainer, there's something that I like to do myself. I like to dress up in a robe. I like to have
your little pipe and the DJ.
Yeah, I'm going to turn the camera on, and I called it becoming human again, because when you're running a business, you're always in businessman mode. You're always shrewd. You have to be dominating. You have to be a certain way, or else your business will fail. You can't be. It's not for the meek. It doesn't work. So now I have a chance to take a breath from being so aggressive and so hostile when it comes to doing business, and giving people a chance to kind of see, well, this is what I'm doing when I'm not entertaining you, but I'm still entertaining you, for lack of a better word.
Well, honestly, I felt like you were one of the hardest work. Like I felt like you were working all the time, and I don't even live with you. I was like, dude, work every single day of the week, twice a day. Okay, like, oh, we got an afternoon gig, an evening gig, and a late night gig. I'm like, how are you doing this? Like, how are you alive? So I'm pretty sure like Chrissy's probably happy to have you home like on weekends.
We're on the same like type schedule now, but we're just living. So I position myself to be essential, and that's how I make my money now. And in the place that I am essential, I'm able to entertain people. I'm able to be personality. And I've always said, even to Rain, to Rashaun, to whomever I might talk to, mentor, teacher, what have you, any ear that listens to me that's in entertainment, that this entertainment thing is 75% personality, 25% skill. And right now, if you're streaming and you're not entertaining people, people are not going to watch you.
Yeah.
I don't care how skilled you are. They're not interested.
Yeah.
You have to do something entertaining in order to keep these people that have so many options now, except the short attention span.
Yeah.
So my little 2-minute thing, pipe in, pipe out.
Yeah, that's the absolute truth, because it's funny, once this once the whole live streaming thing and started happening and people started live streaming, I think at that point that kind of showed a lot of DJs their actual popularity. Because I would watch DJs that were like, big names on party flyers on a regular basis doing big parties, and go live on Instagram, and two watchers would go down to one watcher.
Yeah, them smoke and mirrors got cleaned up real quick.
Exactly.
Real quick. Exposed.
Exactly.
I mean, all you had all the vehicle around you that was making you great in a world of people that didn't know any better. Now the camera's on you. It's you against them, and there is no them.
No. Which is crazy. So while we're still on, the topic of talking about the pandemic and the mobile entertainment world and everything. So I've noticed, Rashaun, since some of the casinos have opened back up, I've noticed that you've been getting back to being a little bit busy. So but I'm things are different now because of all the CDC guidelines in place. So so how is that now? How is the feeling of things being completely different from what they used to be, and how are you adjusting to it?
Well, for the past 4 months, 3-4 months, I'll probably say, I've actually took the essential route as well. So, I went and got me a little part-time hustle, and it's delivering groceries, and which I'm cool. I got no problem doing it. Listen, and I put my pride to the side, and I can still do that and do my scheduling on the side thing I want to do. So I've been staying afloat doing that. And with the gigs I've been doing, with the casino stuff, it was we was doing a lounge, Golden Nugget, and people still want to party, but they had implementations in place that people aren't allowed to dance. You got to keep your mask on at all times. If you're sitting down at the table, you can take your mask off to, obviously drink and socialize. Right. But people kept getting up and wanting to dance and party, and I'm just like, I'm not going to be the police person and tell people that they can't dance. I'm here to do a job, play music, keep people occupied. I mean, I can change the vibe up, but people have been trapped in the house for so long. I mean, they want to hear music. They want to socialize. They want to be happy, have fun. So, I kind of got to keep the vibe going. So it was just kind of strange to see security coming in and breaking people up and dancing. I was like, I've never seen that before.
You spent years trying to figure out how to get people on the dance floor. And now you gotta figure out how to keep them in the seat.
And I'm just like, this is the reality now. And I'm just like, even like my warm-up sets is like, people chilling, bopping in the seats. I mean, people on 10 as soon as they get in. They getting out the house, they on 10 on the warm-up set. And I'm just like, it's a new reality now.
It's like being locked up. I mean, imagine being locked up and then like somebody just open the door, like you're free now.
Yeah. But now, I heard Jersey changed. Well, I know New Jersey, they changed the guidelines now, so they're allowing places to stay open until 2 p.m. I mean, I'm sorry, 2 a.m. Yeah, places are allowed to stay open until 2 a.m. and they're having entertainment now. So I'm not sure how long that's going to last, but we'll see how that works, especially with this whole new strain thing coming out.
Yeah. Are y'all getting the vaccine? Like how are we?
I got the vaccine. I'll take my next shot this Thursday.
I haven't got it yet. But once it happens, I'll take it. It is what it is. So
I'm still waiting. I'm actually they just got to the group that I'm a part of, but it's a large group. I think they said it's about 400,000 people or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. So but because of where I work, apparently, my job has been, giving out the vaccine. So I'll probably end up getting it from my job, sooner than later.
Okay.
I think it was very important to get it to me. I mean, it's too early to know what the long-term effects of this will be, but it's not too early to know that people are not living as normal. Mm-hmm. So if this is something that can get us closer to normal, then sign me up. And that's how I feel about that part of it.
Yeah, you definitely have to weigh the risk, because right now it's like, okay, you don't get the vaccine, you get sick, maybe it's just a few things, a few weeks and you're over it, but maybe it's not. Mm-hmm. Or some people having long-term effects, like things that are, heart issues and lung issues, like for the rest of their life, permanent damage. And it's like, is it?
Like I tell people all the time, because when I talk to people about the vaccine, I know quite a few people that are on, on the side of the line. It's like, well, no, I'm not taking it. They need to do more research. Then they compare it with things like the flu vaccine and, things of that nature. And, I tell them is different. You really can't throw everything in one category together, because everything is different. And, I expressed to them, like my thinking is a gamble. Is a 50-50 gamble, just like you said. And I told them like this: if I don't get the vaccine, then that means I have to, fight harder to make sure that I'm doing everything possible to stay safe so that I don't get COVID. You know, because it's like, take the vaccine, protect yourself, or possibly, you know, catch COVID. Don't know, you know, if the vaccine, you know, will have a side effect on me or not. But at the end of the day, I don't know if I catch COVID, you know, I may be one of the people that, you know, hospitalized. A lot of times people, you know, they look at, they compare themselves to other people. And I can't compare myself to every 40-year-old out here, you know, that may have the same physique as I have or whatever, you know, be in the same shape that I am. Everyone's immune system is completely different. And whereas one 40-year-old, you know, could have had it and had no symptoms, you know, like I said, I could be hospitalized. So I'd rather, you know, take my chances with getting vaccinated and, you know.
Oh, you're hearing about 20-year-olds dying and then 100-year-old people living. So
it's like I compare the vaccine to a seatbelt. You know, you might crash and you might not die if you have a seatbelt on or off, but there's a higher probability that you're going to have more damage if you don't have it on. So I just look at it like that. I mean, there's so many different accidents. Everyone comes out differently. I'm just at the point that, you know, I'm tired. I don't personally tippy toe around in public. I mean, I keep a mask on, I follow guidelines and stuff, but I see people that are really aggressive about 6 feet and distancing and have like 100 masks on. I'm just tired of seeing them. I'm not worried about myself. I just take the vaccine so I don't have to watch you wear 100 masks.
I'm tired of seeing people in hazmat suits.
I'm tired of seeing it. Come on.
Like knowing the fact that one, like Black people, back to us, like, you know, we're a higher rate to die because of comorbidities. We're, you know, overall we're overweight. We have diabetes. We have high blood pressure. All these things. Then you add in systemic racism and hospitalizations. Fact of the matter is, doctors think that we don't feel pain as much, or they don't believe us as much. A lot of us don't have health insurance. We live in multi-generational houses. That gives us a higher chance, a higher probability of not surviving this. And honestly, we're dying at a higher rate, you know. But it's a weird situation because we've also been experimented on, you know. So I understand. The fear of letting someone inject you with something that's only been around for about 8 or 9 months. Right. You know, I understand it. It's, you know, because like, the Tuskegee experiment went on for what, 40, 50 years?
Yeah, for 40 years, right? From what, 1930 to 70 or something?
It went on for a very long time. Yeah. And the fact is, like, almost every aspect of medicine has used us as guinea pigs, you know? Absolutely. Like, the fact of the matter is, like, the modern day obstetrics came from operating on female slaves, on Black female slaves, and not using anesthetics. We have been guinea pigs historically. So I understand the fear. But then it's like, at some point you just gotta step out on faith, because right now we are dying. You know, right now we are dying. So
I have a good formula for when you go in to take the vaccine. You go sign up and you do everything, and you walk in the room, and they're going to sit you down. You haven't. None of you have taken this vaccine yet, right? No. So I'll tell you what happens. You go in. You have to prove that you're on the list. That's first things first. So you have to get cleared. You go in. You sign in, you give them your ID, you give them your proof of injection. Then they take you into another room in the back, and they have different stations set up with different, you know, hospital personnel that'll give you the injection. And then they have a seat off to the side, which is the waiting area, to see if there's any side effects. They have you stay for like 15 to 30 minutes just after you've taken the dose, just to see. So, you know, I think that if you're going into a place and it's like multicultural, when you go inside to sit down to take the vaccination, just say, oh, well, nah, I don't want to sit here. Let me sit over there. Call him over here and let him sit in this seat. And that way you'll skew. Just in case.
Making sure y'all ain't playing with me.
Yeah.
The other option is, like, there are, like, in Philadelphia, we have the Black Doctors Consortium, you know, like, and they are, you know, so you have a lot of Black volunteers. It's run by a Black female doctor. So it's finding those sorts of groups that, you know, are servicing us, you know. Like, but it's like I understand the fear. Yeah, I really do, because we flip flop back and forth. But honestly, like given our own health history, our son, he has a blood disorder, so like he's at risk for certain things. So we just want to be as safe as possible. And honestly,
Absolutely.
but you gotta sometimes you just gotta go out on faith and just hope for the best.
There's always the alternative. I mean, I don't want to experiment with catching COVID. I would rather take my chances with this vaccination than say, oh, well, just give me COVID and see if I survive it. Like,
well, can you imagine like the way they play around with health insurance? Like COVID can now become like a pre-existing condition.
Right, right. And like, now your benefits are like out the window.
So like, and when I would hate to spend all this time like going through all this extra effort to stay safe and sequester ourselves at home and then get sick. Like,
we almost made it. We almost get
So, but real quick before we are going on a little longer. Of course, we have a little visitor, but I want to ask, so are there any new toys, like DJ toys that y'all have invested in or you're interested in, or
wait, before you answer that, I'm gonna throw a toy out there so I can get the opinion from both of you, because I already know where I stand at on it. The Rain controller, the most one of the most recent releases.
Not for me.
No.
Mine's is on back order.
So you're actually gonna get it, Sean?
Absolutely. Of course I'm going to get it.
So are you going to get it because it works for you, or because it's a new toy?
Well, my situation is different. I mean, I am like pro compact. I love compactness of everything, and the way technology has been going, it works for me, especially in my different situations. I can move around easier. But like I still bring turntables and stuff out, but I mean, for the majority of my gigs, like it just doesn't make sense for me to lug around turntables and a mixer to do the smaller gigs that I'm doing. Like it's not fast enough for me to transport that way. Plus I have a car. So I look at me grabbing that controller. It's like, well, I got the best of both worlds now, so I can still actually practice as if I'm using turntables and still, kind of practice on cutting and stuff like that, and still have the feel and still keep the feel of using a moving platter as a turntable, instead of just me being so used to traveling with a controller all the time. I now have another controller that is the next thing is closer to a turntable I can get, besides people running around with the Rain turntables and stuff like that. So,
and I heard it's pretty.
I think it's a good idea.
And I heard it's really like really lightweight. So, like that, I can definitely understand.
I got a van. I'm gonna throw it all in the van, and we're do it. I don't need some.
Well, I mean, I like it. I like it in theory. If someone were to bring it over and have me test drive it, then I would think about messing with it. But I have a controller already, and I have something compact. I have the small Denon controllers that have the turntable feel, which is the 5,000 M's.
That's the standalone, right?
Right, that's the standalone. So,
see, and I've been trying to sell people on standalone lately.
That's my whole thing is, if I'm going to take out a controller, and the controller I have, it's a standalone unit. So even faster than having first of all, if I'm taking out a controller, it's usually in a place where I either have to go upstairs or it doesn't make sense to bring out turntables or whatever, like a nursing home or something like that. So if I'm in that capacity of DJing, I don't even want to have to bring a computer. I just want everything in the box. As soon as I open it up, it's already set up. And that's what the Denon does for me. If the Rain did that, then for me, that would be a win. You have a spinning platter, you have an onboard computer, you have a way to search your songs. To me, that would be a win. But at this point, taking a computer out of the equation, if I'm going that small, was the direction I was going in, and that's where I've been.
Well, knowing Rain, the next controller is probably going to be a standalone.
that sign me up for that. Sign me up for that.
So, what advice do you have for, seasoned DJs or people who are just now breaking out for whatever reason, decide, I want to become a DJ in the middle of a pandemic? Like, what advice do you have for DJs given what has happened over the course of the past year or so?
Um, in this light, I always tell people, the first thing I always tell people, any DJ, whether you're old, new, or in somewhere in between, is your image is everything. What you look like is what you're going to attract. That's just the bottom line. If you look raggedy, if you have a derogatory name, or whatever the case may be, those are the kind of people you're going to attract. You're going to have to live with that. You're going to have to, you're going to be, that's who you are. Your image is everything. But secondly, people smell a fake a mile away, especially now. Mm-hmm. When they can, people can tell that, we have arguments and debates over, what features to use in software, and what looks good and what you shouldn't use, and all that. To the average listener, the average person that's listening, that's irrelevant. They want to know, are you a genuine person? Can you entertain me? And can you play the type of music I'm interested in? They don't care what device you're using. Right now, I've seen an article that the hottest DJ in the country right now doesn't even use any kind of controller. He just uses a computer with some kind of MIDI trigger hooked up to it. And he's out there with all these celebrities and all that. And I'm not mad at him for that, because whoever has elevated him to the platform of being labeled that for this moment, he's giving the people what they need, and he's interested in doing what he does. Whereas there may be a ton of people that are way more talented, have way more equipment, can do way more tricks, but their image isn't right. Their marketing isn't right. Their production isn't right. The way they approach the packaging and the distribution of the music and the entertainment is not right. So they will never go further beyond flatline in this industry.
How about you, Rashaun?
Just to piggyback on what Ty said, definitely your image is everything. Your social media is your first line of anything you got going on in life. Is today's resume, the poor man's resume at that. So there's just no way about it. I'm just glad I learned early, as far as, trying to position myself to get in other situations, as far as keeping the right image and stuff, being mindful of, some of the things I like in personal life. Some things just isn't meant for social media. If you're running a business, your social media should be about your business. Mm-hmm. Your personal life, call your friends. You want to share some memes and stuff, text your friends memes. It ain't for the world, It definitely will affect your income, because you put the wrong thing out there, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
And people not even gonna tell you to cut you off. They just gonna cut you off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, definitely now what's going. You definitely have to elevate what you have to offer and who you are and your whole persona. Yeah. And like, people are, and there's so much at risk now, especially with social media. Like, businesses don't even want to take the chance on someone who's going to embarrass them.
Yeah.
So definitely that's the route you're trying to take. So I definitely understand that.
I tell people all the time, like, this thing sticks to you, whether you know it or not. You may miss opportunities and don't even know it, because of the way you look, or because of the way you act, or because of something you said. Even as we're having this forum right here, I'm thinking in my mind, is there anything that I said that might be clipped somewhere down the line, and now I'm on trial?
Internet lives forever. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think as long as you're honest, you're genuine, and you're trying to speak from the right space, then
Yeah. I mean, also, just for the new guys that's probably watching and stuff like that, you gotta be yourself. You gotta be factual. I mean, everybody want to be the star of the show. They want to be on the flyers and all that, and it's so many different variables of being a DJ in different areas it can take you to. So it's just, some people want to confine themselves. They want to be in the limelight. They want to be in the club spotlight and all that. And that comes with a lot of repercussions, even just the images that's put out there in that. For me, I don't want to be on a flyer with a bunch of clad women. Who aren't even associated with the party anyway. They're just some women that have been taken off somebody's Photoshop. Yeah. So those kind of women won't even be at the party anyway. You're going to get that party, there's going to be some other type of thing going on. I'm just like, nah.
Well, and what does it say about you being on that flyer? Like, people are like, these kind of things. Like, do I really want to be associated with that? You know, but I wonder if that just comes with maturity. You know, like as you grow as an adult, you start to realize, oh, what is a signal? You know, whereas like maybe some younger, you know, DJs, younger, you know, people are more interested in popularity and getting their face out there, not really thinking about the long-term ramifications of what it would mean for their image. But,
I mean, that's true. Like, so I will, you know, what you saying that it is actually true, because and like, in all honesty, that was me. You know, that was me. It's like around, I think it was maybe like around 2005, like 2005 or 2006 when I got back into DJing and decided to like really do it and take it seriously, especially when I learned like the actual tricks of DJing and stuff like that. And in the beginning, I wanted to be like, you know, one of those DJs that was on flyers. You know, I wanted to be, you know, at every little hood spot. You know, I was like, oh, I was rocking it. Because even like Ty said, we met in 2007. So even with Ty, you know, Ty had you know, a couple of accounts in various places, and I was loving those spots. You know, I thought that was like, you know, the height of my career. You know, the place to be. It was like, oh yeah, Ty sent me to this place. Oh yeah, Platinum. Oh yeah, I'm there. It's like, you know, I found myself actually reaching out to him like, hey, look, can I get this spot this Friday? Can I get this spot on Saturday? And maybe I'm talking too loud.
He's like, it's time to end this.
Yeah. So real quick. So long story short, you know, I got introduced to the mobile world in the right way because of Ty taking me to a gig and allowing me to see how the mobile world was, and that completely changed my mind frame of thinking. You know, and from that point on, you know, that's when I wanted to just stick with mobile. And then I met my wife, and she helped me with what you said as far as making sure you have the right, correct image. You know, and for any, you know, DJ listening right now, you know, that's definitely what you want to do. Like, you know, if you're actually, you know, at, you know, every little hood bar that you love right now, and you turn it up, and if you think that's it's not it. Now, if that works for you, then by all means, like, you know, let that be you. But if you feel like you have the potential to do so much more, then maybe mind your business. Then maybe, you know, that should be, maybe you should reach for more. But but definitely, like I said, I was one of those DJs who thought, like, you know, sky was the limit in the little, as Ty would call them, anti-ratchet spots. As Ty would call it, ratchet spots. And then I found out that anti-ratchet was where I wanted to be at. Yeah. Because it gives you so much more opportunities.
Yeah. This is something that really can't be controlled. But I also have learned that the stronger your partner is, the better your career will be. It'll show. Like guys crash and burn, being with the wrong people, having the wrong partner, like not being on the same page, like missing gigs, being late because you're feuding with your significant other, or they don't want you going out, women and male, you know, entertainers. The fastest way to be out of this whole entertainment thing quickly is to align yourself with someone that doesn't get it.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. You definitely have to make sure that you have the right partner. And on that note, gentlemen, thank you guys so much for joining us. But our boss has said that it's time to wrap it up. He does not like us spending extra time doing personal things. So he wants to get fed and play with us, I guess. I don't know. That's what happens when you have children. But thank you guys so much. We definitely want to have you guys on again at some point. Next time I will be prepared for the meal competition so that I don't look sad with my little sandwich next to your whole like accoutrement. Like,
just know we're bringing our A game next time.
Oh yes, definitely. But thank you guys so much for joining us for brunch. We love you, and we'll talk to y'all later.
Thanks a lot.
All righty, thanks for having us.
Y'all later.
All right.